Here it comes. One broadside. Two broadsides. Ow. Alright, now you can see they are routing, but they're going to get a couple more broadsides from these other two galleons. All right, welcome back to the war. And boy, do we have we have some discussions to make about the campaign map here. So let's just get right into it. Now, I think when I last left you guys, General Dayton was at Williamsburg. And it's been probably a couple of turns. I don't know exactly how many, but it's been a couple of turns. And he has now marched down to Charleston. He can't quite reach it this turn, but he'll be able to reach it next turn. You may notice that he has howitzers and grenadiers instead of the foot artillery and the rangers. They're actually back here.
Make ready.
The reason they're back here is just because I don't want like this force here or some forces from Charleston like running out here and trying to kill them, because like they could move down here, right? Then I'm worried that units could just leave Charleston to attack them, or this force could, and I think they could win against this force, but not if like units from Charleston join them. So I'm just having them sort of hang back where they're less likely to be attacked, or they could retreat to our own territory if they are. Yes. But anyway, next turn, General Dayton will be attacking Charleston. And again, he'll have some more siege-oriented units for attacking the place. And I felt it would be a good chance to use them because they actually do have fortifications, like they do have a fort here. So it will be a fort battle rather than a field battle. Otherwise, I would have just kept the Rangers and the foot artillery. Now, if we continue north, we have General Hogarth with his new army here. I think I've already gone over their composition before. Just upgraded versions of all units that we could. The foot artillery is the same, and of course his own bodyguard is the same. One thing I was unsure of was whether line infantry was actually better than the Minutemen. I was thinking, well, it's kind of a no-brainer. The Minutemen are like a militia unit, and usually they're below the professional units when it comes to how good they are.
Sir.
But the Minutemen, unlike regular militia, can, do an entire unit fire on the enemy. So what I did was I did do a bit of testing in custom battles, and it actually looks like the line infantry are handily better than the Minutemen. Or at least they are so long as they have the fire by rank ability, which is something they just automatically have, I think, in the custom battles. Now, I do not actually have that yet, and I didn't realize I had it available, though. For some reason, I thought the fire by rank was much further down the tech tree, but no, it's actually, we have been able to research it for at least a few turns now. So once we're done with wedge formation there, we're just going to switch right to researching fire by rank to make sure the line infantry are up to snuff on the battlefield. So anyway, General Hogarth's army is going to attack the Plains Nation. Continue prosecuting the war against them, the war that they started. Now, they may have known that we were intending to start the war, but that's not what the history books will say. And to be fair, I was trying all sorts of diplomatic negotiations. I hadn't attacked them yet. It really is their fault when you think about it. It's their fault for attacking us. That's how it is. All right, anyway, continuing on. George Washington has abandoned his staring contest with the Iroquois. And you may be wondering why. The answer is I want him to come back to Boston to deal with another enemy, or potentially deal with another enemy that we've acquired. Another unwarranted attack by an enemy. And it is not the Iroquois. The Iroquois we're still at peace with them, as you can see there. So no, the nation that has chosen to attack us now is the Spanish. Yes, the Spanish. I have no idea why. I don't think I've even seen a Spanish settlement, army, navy, anything. Unless, well, I guess technically. Okay, yeah, so there are Spanish settlements down here. Now, I've never been down here, so I'm guessing that this is just visible here because of the trade route. Because you can see, I can see along the trade route. And so I guess that's why this is visible to me. So I guess technically I have seen a Spanish settlement, or a Spanish port, at the very least, before. But anyway, I don't get this, because I was pretty sure that they were actually the friendliest nation of them all to us. I could be wrong about this, but I swear they were very friendly. And we had, like, trade rights. They were at the very least the same level as France and the United Provinces. They were at least friendly, and I want to say they were very friendly. And then they just up and declare war on us for no reason whatsoever. And the reason this is somewhat important and some matter of urgency is because, as you may have noticed, as I zoomed around the map here, there's a Spanish fleet here. And, I mean, they've already passed by the British, who I think are their other enemy. Well, actually, they're not at war with the British. It's just us and the pirates. Well, yeah. Okay, well then, I guess there's only one place, really, that this fleet could be going, and that's somewhere in my territory. Now, I'm sort of assuming Boston, simply because if they were going to go to Philadelphia, I'd assume they'd already have turned in that direction. I mean, technically, they could land anywhere, of course, but Boston is the one that I'm most concerned with, at least. So that's why General Washington is coming back here. Now, his presence may not be necessary because, as I've mentioned in the past, we have been starting to build up the American Navy. And we have these 7 6th-rate ships sitting in the harbor. Plymouth. Oh, right, because the ports do have names. Okay, Plymouth. So they're sitting here at Plymouth, and they can actually go ahead and attack the Spanish fleet, as you can see. Now, looking at their stats, the sloops we shouldn't have any trouble with, and I don't think we should have any trouble with the brig either. But the galleons the galleons might wipe the floor with us, if I'm being entirely honest. Because, like, we outnumber them, but man, firepower, 370 compared to 56. And let's see, hull strength is 4,600 as opposed to just over 2,000. So 2,200, we'll say. Now, again, we do outnumber them. I don't think it's impossible for there to be victory, and that might even be preferable to stop them on the sea rather than waiting for them to land somewhere and then trying to intercept the army that way. So I am going to have the Navy attack and see what happens. If we win, then Washington can just, like, swoop around here and resume his staring contest with the Iroquois. If not, he'll be marching back over here to intercept the Spanish wherever they choose to land. So, anyway, I guess there's no reason for further delay. Oh, wait a minute.
Can't sail there, Captain.
Stop for a second. I just realized something. Can I recruit an admiral? Oh, I can. I should have done this before. Admiral. Okay, and he does take over the 6th-rate ship. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I just think it is better to have an admiral in charge of the Navy, but I had completely forgotten about it until this very moment. Literally, as I was clicking on the enemy and realized, wait a minute, they have an admiral. So, anyway. Yeah, you see, it's not exactly in our favor. I guess if it looks like we're going to be utterly destroyed, we could always retreat to one of our ports and await the landing of their army. All right, but anyway, let's get right into the battle. All right, welcome to the battle. Welcome to the first outing of the American Navy. And the last. I probably shouldn't talk about them like that, but I guess spoiler warning, the battle goes ill for us. Basically, I have my ships all arranged in a single line, and the idea here was I was going to go along the left. As you can see, they have their smaller ships on the left and the bigger galleons here on the right. And so I was thinking, well, maybe we could fire on the smaller ships as we go past, and we'll be somewhat protected from the galleons, because they'll be firing on their own ships as well as ours, because they'll be in the middle here. It does not work out that way. Not at all. They're able to get their galleons very much in amongst our own ships and able to mercilessly destroy them. And I mean merciless. We have the Confederacy here in the front. We're going to follow her for a bit, as she is one of the first to engage the enemy and the first to surrender. I think I very drastically underestimated the sheer firepower of the galleons and the large crew they have, the number of cannons. Basically, I underestimated everything about them. The Confederacy does manage to fire first. As you can see, their formation has split up, though, and so the galleons have very clear shots on the Confederacy. Some of the other ships are turning to fire back there. I remembered that naval battles were very micro-intensive. Like, if you wanted the ships to be as efficient as possible, you had to, like, manually control them, or at least that's what happened in my one and only other Empire Total War campaign. And so I'm trying to do that in the back here, where I deliberately tell ships to leave the line now and fire on ships, trying to have many ships target one ship. But honestly, it doesn't work out very well for me, but it works out very well for the enemy, as the Confederacy is about to find out. We have chain shot being fired at our sails, as well as regular cannon shot. Just blasting into the side of the ship there. Oh, and here comes broadside from the Triunfante over there. And just like that, the Confederacy has surrendered. So now we have the Cabot, who is essentially in a one-on-one fight with the Concepcion de Napoles. That galleon. I should probably just say it's that galleon. And she will be surrendering very soon. We then have the Congress and the Portsmouth over here firing on ships kind of willy-nilly. But the galleons are very much able to give back far more than they receive from our fledgling navy. I do tell the Cabot to board the galleon at this point, more out of desperation than I really expect anything of them. But they never get around to boarding. As you can see, they are wavering, and then they are routing, so the boarding action does not happen. Basically, the 4 galleons that are here are basically able to take out my fleet on their own for the most part. They do have their brig back there, and the 2 sloops have been swooping around back here. We actually do manage to take one of them, get them to surrender, but it's not really worth the cost, I have to admit. In fact, let's take a look back here quickly. We have the Wasp over here, which I think is one of the only 2 ships we have that actually escape. We have the Hampton and the Brilliant over here, who are actually going to fire on the Santo Tomas here as it passes between them. I believe this is the ship that we actually managed to capture and get to surrender. And the Congress, I believe, has just now surrendered. Now, at this point, I tell the Hampton to board them, and this is, again, our one and only real victory of the battle, is to get that ship there to surrender. Ow, ow, ow. All right, the Portsmouth has just surrendered. The Wasp is now withdrawing, because at this point, I realize we need to try and save some of our ships. So the Wasp is withdrawing. and so is the Brilliant, which is our general, or admiral, I should say. The Santo Tomas has surrendered and is currently sinking, along with its brave crew. Our admiral starts routing, which, as you can see, he's routing now. He does rally before the end of the battle, but I just tell him to withdraw anyways. Now, the Hampton is also withdrawing, but I'm afraid it does not escape. Take some shots from the San Blas over there. Or Blaze? I think San Blas sounds better. As you can see, though, the rest of the Spanish fleet is approaching, and the Hampton is not going to do well against such odds, especially since it seems to be stuck on the San Blas. Here it comes. One broadside. Two broadsides. Ow. Alright, now you can see they are routing, but they're going to get a couple more broadsides from these other two galleons. And... ow. With that, the battle is over. In total defeat for the American Navy on its first outing. Alright, but anyway, I'll see you guys back on the campaign map. Well, that was unfortunate. Very unfortunate. I guess we better just accept, and let's see, where do our ships go back? Maybe to New York?
Drop anchor!
Looks like it. I assume we can repair them here. We can. Alright, well, it looks like we will need General Washington to come back after all, because we were crushed. Utterly crushed. In fact, they now have a bigger navy, because they took 2 of our 6th rate ships. Did they lose a couple of ships, though? Because I thought they had... oh, no, I think they lost 1 ship. Oh, right, the sloop that surrendered. I guess they didn't get it back. Oh, because I think it was sinking, and that's probably why. So they lost 1 sloop, and we lost... I want to say 4 6th rate ships. I'd say that's an even fight. Definitely not a complete and utter defeat, as some might try to claim. All right, well... let's see, I think that was it. We don't have any other battles to fight right now, so I guess I will let you guys go, and I will bring you back as the war continues. All right, welcome back to the war. And welcome to the fall of Boston, as Boston is going to fall here, methinks. Basically, after I was done with the sea battle, I hit end turn, and the results are before you. The Spanish immediately went into port, burned it, and sent their army to Boston, and Boston only has its garrison here. Maybe I should have tried to train up some units. I don't even think Boston has walls now that I think about it. It also had a bunch of expensive buildings building too, so that's really annoying. But basically, once we lose this battle, Washington is going to have to speed back here quite quickly to take it back from the Spanish. So, let's try and cause as much damage as we can to them now, so let's get right into the battle. Okay guys, welcome to the shortest battle on record. The Battle of Boston will not be a glorious defense. My deployment zone was all the way over here, so I started having my Firelock armed citizenry rush into the city here to start garrisoning some of these buildings. As you can see, the Spanish have plenty of cavalry, so they are going to very easily be able to catch the Firelock armed citizenry out in the open here and massacre them. The idea here was that I was hoping that we would be able to just garrison some of these buildings and just kill as many of them as possible. Especially since they have so much cavalry, I was thinking, oh, the cavalry won't be able to really come in the houses or anything. So maybe we can take out a whole bunch of them. But no. No, the cavalry catches them here. The citizenry do not give a good accounting of themselves. Here comes some reinforcement cavalry right into the side here. And you can already hear the calls for break off, retreat, as units rout and are shattered by the cavalry. Head for the hills, indeed they all are. And just like that, the battle is over. The first Battle of Boston ends in a complete defeat for the Americans. For us. For us! So, anyway, the Spanish have taken Boston. That was gotta be the shortest battle on record. And here I was, thinking, oh, we'd have some buildings to use, but no. All because of, Oh, shoot, I think we lost our main research building as well then. Yes, we did. Going to have to take that back here shortly. Why don't you work on Spinning Mule? So we're going to have to take that back, obviously, from the Spanish. The cowardly Spanish who betrayed us and stabbed us in the back. Took our capital city, and now our capital is Philadelphia. I think Washington is...
At the ready.
Yeah, it looks like he's 2 turns away, unfortunately. So we are going to have to be without our capital city for a bit. Alright, but anyway, I have some stuff to do here on the campaign map, so I will let you guys go now, and I will bring you back as the war continues. Alright, welcome back to the war. Yes. So we are still a couple of turns away here from retaking Boston, and actually the Spanish may very well be able to take Falmouth, Maine. They might be able to take Maine before we actually get over there as well. I guess it's a good thing I started marching Washington back when I did, but how very annoying, because then I've lost the time I was spending on the technology. Well, actually, I think it'll pick up where it left off on the tech once I get my research back, but of course that'll be a couple of lost turns there. I also lost money on the buildings that I was constructing. I was building walls, ironically enough, as well as like a higher barracks, and I think I was upgrading the palace as well. Very unfortunate that we've now lost all of that, but oh well. I actually started building walls here at Maine as well, but now I imagine we'll lose them as... If the Spanish come and attack us. I don't know if they can see that Washington is on the way, and so we'll keep their forces here, but I guess it's impossible to know, so we'll just leave it for now. Now down here in the south, General Dayton is close to attacking the Plains Nation. I assume they'll gather all of their troops and put them in the settlement here as we attack. But that's not until next turn. Here is the battle we are fighting this turn. We have... Well, wait. I called him Dayton, didn't I? Hogarth. Hogarth is the one who's attacking the Plains Nation. Dayton is the one who's attacking Charleston here. The troops that were in the port here have gone to the settlement to join the defense here. So they actually have a considerable garrison. I mean, many of the troops are low quality, but some of them are higher quality for sure. And again, they've got that howitzer, one that is actually a better unit than my own howitzers. Nonetheless, victory shall be ours, and Dayton shall continue his glorious march south, while Washington takes care of business back closer to home, and Hogarth takes care of the Plains Nation for their own treachery. Everyone here is treacherous. You treacherous Spanish dogs. Savor your victory, your cowardly victory from when you stabbed us in the back, for soon it will come to nothing. Anyway.
Siege works underway.
We shall now attack. Okay, guys, welcome to the battle. And if you're wondering why I'm looking at the howitzers instead of, say, an infantry unit, there's going to be parts of this battle that basically occur in slow motion, so I figured it would just be appropriate to look at the howitzers since they kind of move in slow motion anyways.
Right away.
There's the fort. The enemy is already sending a cavalry unit outside, so I'm having to turn some Minutemen around here to fire on them. I was going to have them all line up here between these walls here, but when you send a cavalry unit out at us like that, you have to pay the consequences. Alright, and just like that, they are shattered. So the idea here is I want to put the Minutemen here, and I guess in a moment you'll be able to see where they're supposed to go. The howitzers are moving up over here so that they can deploy and hit most of the wall from their... Well, not most of the wall, but at least the initial bits of the wall from their position back here. Grenadiers are on the left, and the cavalry is going to move up to join the grenadiers as well very soon. At the risk of spoiling things, I misused my cavalry rather badly in this battle, I think. You can see the Minutemen are going to line up here just to the right of the howitzers to basically guard against any units that start coming out of the fort there. And I have to admit, this is also a mistake on my part, and I don't realize it until like halfway through the battle. Because the howitzers, they don't fire in a straight line, they fire up and over, so you can actually put infantry units right in front of them quite comfortably. I mean, maybe a little bit further in front of them, don't have them like standing on the howitzers, but you know, a little bit in front of them, and you don't have to worry about the howitzers hitting them. So I really ought to have done that, like maybe put the grenadiers in front of them and have the Minutemen a little further forward, but, well, I didn't think about it until later in the battle. I'm too used to the foot artillery. So as you can see, my cavalry are on the move, and that's because I've noticed that they have their howitzer unit outside of the fort over here, along with some of their cavalry. And so my thought is that, well, I'll just bring my cavalry over here, charge, and kill that one unit of cavalry plus the howitzers. We'll take a bit of fire from the walls, but we should be fine. What I didn't appreciate was just how much cavalry they had. They have lots of cavalry. And so my cavalry get caught rather badly out here, but I guess you'll see that here in a bit. First, let's see what these tribal auxiliaries get up to. They are going to charge the Minutemen, and that's going to end quite predictably badly for them. And just like that, they are shattered. I think the grenadiers take some pot shots at them as they go. Alright, where are my cavalry at? Okay, here they are. So yes, I have them come over. I have them take this wide arc here to avoid getting shot too much by the cannons. But not only do they still take some fire from the cannons, not too much, but some. But I'm not realizing that I'm actually badly exhausting them. Like, they're already winded, and they haven't even reached the enemy yet. And the general's bodyguard is tired. So in the recording of the actual battle, which you guys might actually have to see, because, again, the frames drop so badly in this battle that I wonder if it mucks with the replay, but I don't realize how badly I've tired them out, and again, not appreciating how much cavalry the enemy actually has to throw at us. So, my cavalry suffers from my poor lack of planning. Oh, they also get shot by the cannons, as you just observed. You can see the 10th Regiment of Horse over there is actually swooping around to try and get at our general's bodyguard. We do intercept him with cavalry over here. We are then attacked from this side by some mounted tribal auxiliaries, so I send 2 cavalry units over there to stop them. The last unit I send charging down here to attack the howitzers. But then they send another unit of cavalry out here, plus, of course, the cannons are now firing on the walls here, plus, I imagine, some bullets at least. So combine all these attacks from every side, and the cavalry takes a lot of casualties here. Having taken out the howitzers, I do take this provincial cavalry here and attack these guys from behind. I also sent General Dayton and his bodyguard around the back here to attack the tribal auxiliaries from behind, because they seem to be doing pretty well against my provincial cavalry. And I think part of the reason for that is just how tired they are. But they're also, the morale is going to be very low here in just a moment because General Dayton perishes. That's right, we have lost General Dayton. He is dead. Basically, the instant we charge in, he is instantly killed. So low morale, very tired, very tired or exhausted. It really doesn't work out very well for me over here. I mean, we do win, We do defeat all the cavalry, and we do take out the howitzers, but the casualties are quite high, and of course, as I've just stated, we lose General Dayton, which is a very unfortunate loss. A deeply unfortunate loss, even. I think I'm definitely going to have to be a little more careful with my cavalry in the future and consider their exhaustion, how likely the enemy is to, you know, send cavalry after us, things like that. Now you can see the Minutemen firing over here, but this is actually just the howitzer crew. Apparently they just routed in that direction, so the Minutemen are taking some pot shots at them. And now recall the cavalry at this point. They'll have time to rest later. This is actually quite a long battle, so they'll have time to rest later. Now, while that battling was going on, the howitzers have been firing on the walls, and they took out this bit of wall here, as you can see. Now, these accursed units, I want you to pay attention to what they're doing. As you can see, they're not doing much of anything, but it sounds like they're being repeatedly given the same order over and over again to move, and then to just stop, and then to move, and then to stop. And this is actually going to cause the frames to drop drastically in this battle, and perhaps make some of it unwatchable. It might even affect how the battle goes, like how the units actually attack and everything, so I'm hoping it doesn't change things too badly. The frames will go back to normal the moment they move from this position, which doesn't happen until the grenadiers get in here and start charging them. That's far, far into the future. For now, the howitzers are basically still firing at the wall, because I'm going to have them take out this bit of wall and this bit of wall here, as well as this bit of wall. There'll be 2 ways into the settlement, and these 2 bits of fortification on either side will be destroyed as well, just to make sure they don't fire at us. It is also at this point in the battle that I kind of realized that I don't need to have my Minutemen to the right of the howitzers. So I push the Minutemen forward, and I'm also moving the howitzers forward as well, so that they can actually hit all those bits of wall that I told you about, because in the position they were in before, they could only hit, like, this side of the settlement over here. Grenadiers are pushing forward as well on the left. But, yeah, basically... Oh, we also have the howitzers actually fire back here for a bit, and with explosive shells. They do manage to kill a fair number of the enemy. The reason I'm explaining all this in advance is, once again, I might have to skip a considerable portion of the battle due to just terrible, terrible frame loss, but I guess we'll see what happens. And that's just my own cavalry returning. Alright, but anyway... For now, all we have to do is sit here and watch the bombardment for a bit. So I think I will let you guys go now, and I will bring you back as the battle continues. All right, welcome back to the battle. And this is where you're going to start seeing the frames dropping. You can actually see how the irregulars here seem to be glitching out. That happened during the actual battle, too, due to the AI doing stupid crap with these infantry units here. But anyway, there actually were some extra units over here on the left. I'm not sure where they came from. The only enemy forces that should have been here were the ones in the fort, so maybe they came out of, like, the gate or something and then charged around. They do seem to be quite tired, so they must have come from a distance. But anyway, the Minutemen start firing on them here. The Hessians will be joining them in just a moment. We have, by this point, taken out... Okay, no, we have not taken out this bit, but we will take it out in just a moment. So all we need to do now is take out one piece of wall here and this fortification over there. But first, we have these infantry to deal with. Now, what I do is I pull a couple of Minutemen units forward, because I think the Hessians are going to put up a bit more of a fight. In fact, they're actually going to take up a lot more of, or put up a lot more of a fight, and I'll show you why in a moment. But anyway, pulling the Minutemen forward to assist was definitely a good idea. Okay, here, they're about to fire. And as you can see, the second rank is firing, followed by the third. So they actually have researched fire by rank. And in my testing, line infantry with fire by rank handily defeat the Minutemen. So it's a good thing we've got many units firing on them now to hurry up and drive them into retreat. Now, the enemy does realize this, though, and sends out a citizenry unit to fire on my Minutemen from behind. So I pull the remaining 2 Minutemen from the line, which admittedly is not really a line anymore, to then fire on them, and I put the Grenadiers in front of the Howitzers to guard them. Yes, I think the line infantry are far more dangerous now that they have fire by rank, which means I need to research that as quickly as I can. These guys are not dying nearly at the rate that I would like them to. You can see here are the citizenry firing into the backs of my Minutemen here. Here's my other Minutemen charging forward to take them out. Yes, oh, the frames, my poor frames. Also, their irregulars, the native musketmen over there, actually rally, so they are also firing at our Minutemen. But that's okay, because we do send the Hessians into retreat here very soon, so I pull 3 of the Minutemen forward to go and drive them away. Meanwhile, these 2 are now driving away the firelock-armed citizenry, and the Grenadiers are sitting here guarding the Howitzers from any unexpected attacks. Not that they're really needed. Yes, we are losing more and more frames by the minute. We've almost taken out this bit of fortification here on the left, and there it goes in slow motion. So now all that's left to do is take out that bit of wall over there. Open fire! Somewhat in slow motion, but open fire! You can see how their animations are being badly affected by the problems here. But again, they do drive the enemy off, which is what we wanted. The Howitzers actually are firing on these units right now with explosive shells. The idea, what I wanted to happen was hopefully the AI to stop doing this, like by moving the enemy somewhere else. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work until we actually charge up there, which I think I'm going to have to keep in mind for future battles. Basically, if I see the AI doing something stupid like this, I need to like send an infantry or maybe even just a cavalry unit to hurry up, charge forward here, get them to stop doing that, and then run away. Just so that the battle can proceed with normal frame rates. The cavalry are now charging after the routers over there on the right, and I'm moving my Minutemen to form a single solid line again in front of the Howitzers, and the Grenadiers I'm putting back on the left flank again. Now, believe it or not, this is actually another misuse of my cavalry, or at least I should have paid closer attention to what they were doing. Because while they do take out the routers, the enemy actually still has cavalry forces, and so we end up in another battle with them, which we again win, but we lose a lot of our guys. A lot more of our guys, dare I say. And all the while, the frames are getting worse and worse and worse. I really wish I had thought of charging a unit forward earlier. Just to try to, again, get the AI to stop doing this. Because it's not the effects. It's not the smoke. It's not like the fire or anything. It is just these guys doing this. And you'll see later in the battle, the frames go back perfectly normal once the AI stops doing this crap. All right, so anyway, I guess I will let you guys go for now. I'm not even sure. I might just skip ahead to when the frames are better, to be honest. At this point, everything is occurring kind of in slow motion. Just know that the enemies send a cavalry unit out here, and we have a small cavalry battle over here. And we take out this piece of wall, and then we charge forward. And that's probably when I'll bring you guys back. So, I will bring you back as the battle continues. Okay, guys, welcome back to Empire Total War Stop Motion Animation Edition. I know I said I'd switch it once you guys, or I'd bring you guys back once the FPS improved, but it's actually going to happen here in a moment. And you'll see the instant that it does, I think. Basically, I have all 4 units of Grenadiers charging forward here. 2 are going in front of this bit of wall here, and the other 2 are going in front of this other destroyed bit of wall over here. And the AI changes in response to my units charging forward, and you'll see again, you'll see the frames improve drastically when that happens. They also do send a unit out of the gate here, I think. I believe it's a cavalry unit. I can't remember exactly. They send just some unit of some kind out of the gate there. And so I do have to end up stopping. Oh, see? Suddenly, all the frames are fine. I do have the howitzers still firing. They're dropping some of their explosive shells back there on the cavalry. Oh, and here comes the cavalry unit out of the gate there. So I end up telling the grenadiers to stop and open fire. Though they do also come close enough to get shot by the Minutemen. And just like that, they are broken. So I start sending the grenadiers forward again on that side. Now, the reason I have grenadiers is because I know they have much higher defense than some of my other units. And so the idea here is that they can shoot, yes, but they can also actually, like, really slaughter enemies in a melee fight, which is what we want. We do take a minute, though, to send them forward, because I'm focusing a bit over here. And look at the damage the howitzers have done. Not bad at all. I actually considered having the howitzers just keep firing, but I realized we were not exactly pressed for time. I realized that this battle here, the melee battle, is going to take quite a while. So I tell the howitzers to stop firing, send forward the grenadiers, and send them charging into the enemy. Now on this side, I do have one of the units try and throw their grenades, and I guess technically they succeed, but they do a pretty poor job of it. Like, only a few of them actually throw their grenades. They don't seem to do much damage. So I just tell them to switch to melee and charge in. We also do have the Minutemen charging up behind here, because they are going to... The Grenadiers can't do this on their own. They are going to need some assistance here. Alright, out come the grenades. See, most of the grenades don't even reach the enemy. The ones that do don't seem to do much damage. So I quickly decide, you know what? They're being shot. Time to charge in here. So in the grenadiers go, just charging right at the enemy. The other grenadiers will follow shortly. And then we'll send Minutemen forward to assist them as well. On this side, I don't even try the grenades. I just tell the grenadiers to go right in, bayonets first. They do take some casualties from the shots, of course. In fact, oh, actually, you can see it there. One of the grenadiers is actually wavering. Because they've already taken a fair amount of casualties, probably mostly from getting shot as they charged up here, and they're facing quite a horde of enemies. But here come the Minutemen up to join them. Some of the Minutemen I send through the gaps to basically just join the Grenadiers, but some of them I actually send around either side. Now this, I have to admit, I didn't even really notice during the battle itself. These auxiliaries, I assumed they were the ones we sent routing from the gate, and they basically rallied and came back. But I didn't notice them until the Minutemen had already sent them into retreat. So I was just like, oh, well, I guess there they go. So anyway, over here on the left, you can see the Minutemen charging in after the Grenadiers, which does help stiffen their morale a bit, as well as just giving them greater numbers to fight the enemy. Now, this Minutemen unit is doing something odd because I actually told them to attack and assist these Grenadiers, basically to charge in there. As you can see, they're not doing that. They're going around. I don't know why. There's no way for them to actually attack from this direction. Like, this gate is still held by the enemy, as are all the other gates. But anyway, I do realize that something has gone wrong in time, and I do stop them. But I decide to send in a different unit instead. This one I send in instead. And then I take these two units and have them go around to this gate. As you can see on the left flank, I've done this with another two Minutemen units. Ignore that unit. This is the Minutemen unit that's assisting them over here, or at least one of them. For some reason, they stopped. They seem to no longer be in combat, so I pushed them back in again. Now, with these Minutemen, what I tell them to do is I tell both units to go up both sides of the gate. I do the same over here. This does not work. What happens is one unit will throw up their ropes and start to climb the walls, and the other will, I guess, it looks like they start to go back around again, so I don't know if they're like trying to get into the settlement or the fort by going through the battle here. I don't know why they do it. But what I end up doing is I end up halting them. Just let the one unit throw their ropes and get up here and take the gate. So then the other Minuteman unit can just go through the gate and start firing into these clumps of enemies back here. As you can see, the enemy is basically bunched up there. There's no other enemy units throughout the fort other than at the two breaches here. I guess technically there's 13 cavalry here, but I think most of them are technically engaged in battle over here anyways. You can see the gate is captured. And so this is the point at which I can start sending the Minutemen inside. Not these guys. These guys are the unit that's climbing the rope. It's these guys here who are going to go through the gate on that side. These guys who are going to go through the gate on this side. I think this is the moment the battle really turns. Well, not the moment. Once we start firing into the back of them, I guess, is really when the battle starts to turn in our favor. As while we are killing a lot of the enemy here, we are also being killed ourselves. Meanwhile, the Minutemen who do form up here on the walls, I do tell them to fire at will, and I think they do assist to some degree. But it's definitely the Minutemen down here who do the most damage. Ow. Very nice, but these Minutemen are going to give you a much more deadly volley in return, I'm afraid. This Minutemen unit behaves very badly. They keep trying to get off the wall, and then they get on the wall. Part of their unit seems to have gone around here and gotten, like, engaged with the enemy there. I end up telling them to get up here and then just tell them to stop, and that's when they then kind of start assisting on this side. Now we have this unit over here, which is doing its good work firing into the back of the enemy here. You can see men falling as they are shot in the back. Meanwhile, over here, the Minutemen have defeated that unit of Firelock armed citizenry, and so we're forming them up again to fire over here. I believe this unit actually charges them. Indeed, they do. I don't think it ends very well for them. As you can see, the Minutemen up here are now firing at the enemy from up here. These guys were not, but as you can see, the enemy is actually sending a unit up there to fight them, so we do end up fighting. Oh, wait! It looks like these guys must have been firing. The 5 guys on the end there. Alright, the enemy numbers are starting to dwindle. That's what happens when you're shot in the back with massed volleys of musket fire. The unit that charged into the Minutemen here has just now been defeated. Oh dear, ow. So we're now going to open fire on these guys here. I don't know if they need to reload first. They do not. Or at least it looks like most of them did not. And you see that freeze right there? That's when we got the message saying if we wanted to continue the battle or not, and obviously we are. The enemy are completely destroyed over here, not a single man left. Though I didn't realize that at the time. Basically, the Minutemen are just going to keep firing at the enemy as they flee. I did pull out my own units just to make sure that, you know, we don't take a bunch of casualties from the fire. All right, well, as you stare at this black screen, I guess just know that the battle ended in my victory, and I guess you'll see the unit statistics on the campaign map when you join me there. But yeah, I guess it crashed right at that moment. So I guess it's a good thing it happened at the end of the battle, rather than, you know, in the middle when we were losing frames or something and we had missed all the good bits of the battle. Well, I don't know. There were quite a few good bits in that battle. But anyway, regardless, I will see you guys on the campaign map. Yowzas. That's quite a heavy casualty total. I mean, I know we killed tons of the enemy, but nevertheless, ow. And again, we lost General Dayton. I was just saying he's going to go gloriously along the coast here, taking settlement after settlement, but no, he dies right at Charleston, I believe it is. Kills, kills, kills. Yeah, the Minutemen did actually heavy amount of killing here. Wait a minute, I should be able to... I was thinking, oh, is this another case of where I shouldn't be able to move this down? But no, I should, because below this must be the Grenadiers, and I wanted to see how well they did, but for some reason I can't drag this down. Huh, well that's extremely annoying. I mean, I know they took a bunch of casualties, obviously, but I wanted to see how many they managed to kill before their units were depleted. Yeah, okay, I just can't do it. All right, well, I guess that's unfortunate, but I guess it is what it is. So, yes, ouch. We have taken the city. General Dayton is dead. While things have not been going well, I have to admit, a really hard-fought, very poor frame rate battle. We lost Boston. The Spanish have attacked us, and that's how we lost Boston. The Navy is all but destroyed. And when I started recording today, it was on quite a high note, but now it's like, terrible. We'll have to turn this around. But yeah, one thing that I think I forgot to mention is that there is one bright spot in all of this. We actually do have now an alliance with France. They're not at war with, like, the Spanish or anything. They're at war with the Plains Nation, though, and the Great Britain. So I guess we'll take that. So yes, we have a bit of international recognition to counter the hostility of the Spanish. All right, but anyway, it looks like that's going to be it for now, so I will let you guys go and I will bring you back as the war continues.